Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to my Greencard story. On this channel, we share the success story of those that have gone through the EB2-NIW process. And due to that, the petition has been approved and now they have their green card. On today's episode, I'm interviewing someone who was a former client of ours. He applied for EB2-NIW during his PhD program, despite the fact that he didn't have any work experience and he had maybe one or two publications, and his petition was approved. So please sit tight and listen to his story so that you can learn one or two things that you can apply towards your petition. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, if you need someone to help you to draft your petition cover letter or someone to help you to review your cover letter, kindly visit our website, www.mygreencardstory.com. Dr. Emeka, over to you. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Emeka. So I got my master's degree in mechanical engineering from a university here in the US. I also got my PhD in mechanical engineering also from the university here in the US as well. But at the time of applying for the at the time of my PhD, that was when I applied for the NIW. So I was still running through the PhD program when I applied for the NIW, and I was able to get it worked out because as at that time I was able to get in touch with people that helped me to draft it and put it right. And one of them is right here, Dr. Popola. He was able to mentor and guide and direct me in the process because the process can be quite intimidating, even if you have the qualifications. But I was able to get in touch with him, and he helped me to get it done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Emeka, for that wonderful and lovely introduction. So I have some other questions for you. So first thing first, what made you to decide to file or apply for green card under EB2-NIW? Is it because you couldn't get a job, or what? Why did you decide to file for a green card under EB2-NIW?
Well, getting a green card is not about a job first, because we know that here in the US, a lot of jobs that you might be qualified for may not even be able to employ you, might not even get employed for a job, even if you're qualified. So green card definitely is a very, very important document that every immigrant wants to get, and there are several avenues that the USCIS here in the US, the immigration system, have set apart different ways to getting it. And as for some of us that are in advanced academic category, those of us doing master's, PhD, or some sort of advanced studies, you have the opportunity to apply for the green card and do it like self-sponsored. You don't necessarily have to wait until you get a job, because you know that the chances of even getting a job that fires for you is slim. So since you know that there is an avenue for somebody that has an advanced degree to get it done, you can then put together your resume or whatever you've accomplished as far as your academic qualifications, and then get it sorted out. Whenever you do, it frees out a lot of things. So you even getting a job, if you want to travel, you can travel. It makes it easier for you having a very flexible visa category like green card. You want to travel outside of the country, you want to visit home and all that stuff. So there are several benefits. Even most importantly, the peace of mind that you don't have to worry about the immigration constraint. because we know how it works here. Your immigration status, if as an international student, if you are, is tied to your international student status. Driver's license, everything is tied to it. So it seems like if you don't have a flexible visa status, your hands are tied. There's nothing much you can do for yourself. So getting a green card definitely is a very important document, a very important thing that you want to get accomplished as soon as possible. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. The next question that I have is, I can't remember when exactly you came to the US. Can you share when you came to the US and how long you have been in the US and the challenges that you faced during those years that you didn't have a green card? I think I remember that you have been in the US for a long time. Tell us the things that you have to do to remain in status during those years.
Well, just like everybody has their own peculiar story, I came to the US quite a long time ago, so I came, but again, whenever I came, I first of all started my master's degree program, okay? And I have the first master's degree that I have was in computer information system. And then thereafter, I proceeded to get another master's degree in mechanical engineering. And then finally the PhD. So you can see that it took a while for me. Again, like I said, people have different tracks or people have different experience whenever they come and how long it might take them. For me, it took me more than 6 years, because if you would add up the time it takes to finish your first master's degree, finish your second master's degree, then run the PhD, you see that even 6 years is, this is up to that. In fact, it's more than 6 years. It took me a while. But again, one important thing that we have to do, especially for those of us as international students or even as immigrants coming into the country, is to ensure that you maintain a valid legal status. It is very important because it's going to make it easier for you whenever you want to adjust your status. And to make things easier, every school here in the US has an international student office that helps to coordinate the affairs of the international students. So if you have questions regarding your legal status or anything, you can get in touch with them. In fact, if you travel anytime as a student, they want you to sign it, because whenever you're coming back to the US, you have to show the immigration that you signed and all that stuff, which if you don't do, it might become an issue, okay? So maintaining a valid legal status is important, making sure that your I-20 is up to date each and every time. And if for some reason you needed an extended status, like I know I did, the first I-20 that I got was 2 years. And you can imagine I finished the first master's degree, went for the second master's degree, then got into PhD that even was up to 4 years or so. So at some point, the what do you call it? The I-20 that I have expired. So, but I had to make sure that before it expired that I get extended extension. So they can get you I-20 extension, which we know the process. If you are not familiar with the process, you can ask your international student coordinator how it goes. But it is very important because those are the documents that you will put together whenever you're filing for this application. And they don't want to see any discontinuity along the time. Okay, they want to make sure that all your I-20 are, adding up and up to date and up to date and up to date up to the time you want to file for adjustment of status. So it is very important. The challenge was tough because again, one thing we know is that getting that email from international students in the first or second year as an international student may not really bother you, but by the time you start getting to your 4th year, your 5th year, and all that, and then you feel like each and every time the school has to send emails to you, want to make sure that you're fully registered as a student and all that. They keep sending you, and sometimes it starts bugging you out like, damn, what's all this? So it's a challenge. Like I said, there are certain jobs you can get You cannot walk outside of the school without their permission. You have to sign this document and that. Even when you are qualified for a certain job, as long as you don't have that flexible visa status, it still becomes a problem. So the challenge is much. Your driver's license and everything you do is tied to the date on your international students. So there are a lot of things going on. And all you just want to do is to be able to get to the point where you can break free from the constraints of these restricted stuff, movements and all that. So the challenge is there, although each and every individual might have their own peculiar experience, but being able to come up to a point whereby you can now assess and tell yourself, yes, at this point, I think I've gathered enough material and I want to utilize the opportunity provided under the NIW to do this green card application. So
Okay.
that's exactly what I did.
That's awesome. So let's dive deep into your petition. Interviewing today because obviously your petition was approved and now you have your green card and you just got your green card within the last 2 or 3 months or so. I can't remember. Yeah. So I want to know what year during your PhD did you file for your EB2-NIW? Then what did you base on your proposed endeavor on? Was it based on your master's research? And if yes, how were you able to demonstrate that proposed endeavor has substantial merit and national importance? So I would like you to answer this question very briefly so that we can quickly get straight to the point.
Okay. Yeah, so I actually filed for the NIW during my last year in my PhD program, my doctoral program. So within the last year, at the beginning of my last year in the PhD program, I filed. And so whenever I did the filing, I based my proposed endeavors on all the skill sets that I have, because that's what it's based on, okay? And including what I did in my master's degree, the 2 master's degree, and of course my PhD as well. So of course, depending on your own area, depending on your unique area of research and all that stuff, all that matters is for you to show that within these skills, that these skill sets that you have will be useful or beneficial to the US economy. So once you can make that connection or proof between your skill sets and the benefits your skill set would offer to the US economy, that's the trick, that's the key. So for me, who has a background, as I have a background in computer science and computer information systems and all that, I use that as one of the things that I proposed. My background as a mechanical engineer and all the stuff that I did, my research in energy systems, renewable energies and all that stuff, how it is important to the US economy. I brought that to the limelight and extrade it and make the connection to where it is necessary, citing some necessary or relevant documents within the US government document that shows that those things are important, as well as what I did in my PhD, because I did stuff in my PhD on robotics systems design, how robots have been very useful or are in high demand to accelerating the economy, automation and all that. So I brought it all out and then make necessary connections to relevant documents where the US government is talking about the benefits and how they need people in this area, because that's all you're trying to prove. You're trying to prove that your skill set is relevant based on the US economy and how it will benefit them. So once you can make that connection, then there you go. That's the trick. And that was how I did it.
Okay, great. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that reply. The next question will be is focused on this second prong of the cover letter, which is for you to show that you are well positioned to advance your proposed endeavor. Personally, I have found out that most people have challenges in demonstrating that they meet the requirement of this prong because they don't know how to go about it. So for you, how are you able to demonstrate that you met that requirement? I want you to focus more on the critical supporting documents that you attach to your petition and the ones that you specifically use to show that you are well positioned to advance your proposed endeavor. I just need like 5 key supporting documents that you use to show that you are well positioned to advance your proposed endeavor.
So one of the things, of course, we'll have to start with your degree, because this is about advanced degree. Okay. So my degree, the first the degrees that I got, like my master's degree document, is one of the documents that validates that yes, you did this. Okay. Then of course your transcript. Another thing is you would also include some maybe like letters of recommendations from your professors, people that know you, people that can speak in your favor. And other things would be like the awards that you received, based on, maybe for me, as in my doctoral degree, I got some award and all that stuff. You're going to put it there. Some of the certifications that you have, if you have any certification that can speak in favor of what you're presenting, that would also be beneficial. So you bring it, they will serve as evidence that yes, what you said you did, that you really did. So those are some of the things you need to gather. Again, this is not a process that you rush. You need to take time. It's not something that you want to start today and, oh man, you give it like within 1 week you want to be done. You need to take your time and bring all the necessary documents that will help to portray or buttress your point based on your proposed endeavor. So these are some of the things. And you could also talk about maybe if there are some, like as a PhD, maybe conferences that you did, the presentations, the seminars, or you did this, you did that, you have taught some classes, you have done, maybe if you have a patent, some of us that may have patents, you bring them, they will all speak volumes in terms of your endeavor, what you said you did. So by the time you were able to bring all that into place and then make the connection to your skill set, we'll be able to get it sorted out and work.
Okay, that's awesome. Thanks so much. When you were answering the last question, you mentioned the fact that recommendation letters were actually one of the supporting documents that you attach to your petition to show that you are well positioned to advance your proposed endeavor. So can you shed more light into the structure of a recommendation letter, especially the one that you use? Because I've found that people struggle in writing a very good recommendation letter. I've seen people write letter in which they are referenced, wrote about the fact that, oh, the applicants, they good students, the applicant had A in their course, the applicant is very diligent, hardworking, and things like that. Is that what USCIS is looking for in a recommendation letter? Because you have like a successful application. Can you shed more light into how one of your recommendation letters was structured?
Okay, so talking about a recommendation letter, one thing that matters is that the person speaking in your favor has, of course, has a reputable character, and maybe also very important, a professional in the field. For instance, if one of your referees, or that is writing your letter of recommendation, is like a professor, he first of all has to state the reason why he is writing this letter. Okay? I write this letter to strongly support the petition or application of so and so, as he or she is applying for this. And now another thing that comes to it is that a brief of the background of the referee, of the person writing it. If he's a professor, okay, this is what I have done. I have done so many research. I have graduated a lot of students. I have done this. I have done that. I have several publications. I have this, I have that. The reason you're trying to say it is just to convince whoever that is reading that, hey, this person is not just making it up just because he wants to favor this candidate or this applicant. So a brief review of the person's, your referee's background also matters, what he or she has done and all that, and how he stands in the position to make an unbiased assessment of this candidate. I think that's also another key aspect here. And so once he or she is able to make that connection, and then another aspect of it would be like relationship between him or her and the applicant, how long he has known the applicant, what they have accomplished together, maybe as a team project or whatever it is, and the classes, maybe if he is one of his students and all that stuff, how he did and what he has done, the research that he's doing, like maybe the person is like your advisor that is writing it. So after he will make that connection, now he has to begin to highlight from what he or she observed your skills that he strongly believe will benefit the US government, okay? Maybe like for me, for instance, I did something, one of my research was based on renewable energy systems. And when I was doing that, I modeled a solar power plant. And so during that time, the professor was able to make the connection of what I did versus the need for renewable energy systems in the country, and how a candidate like me, should be highly considered or regarded, based on what he has done and all that stuff. So these are some of the things that he has to bring in. And now trying to make a case, because it's like making a case for you. So it's not just going to be something like 2 or 3 lines, I recommend him, please take him, or please approve. No, that would be too shallow. So there has to be a substance that the person writing it has to bring out from the relationship he or she has with you and all that, to bring it into limelight, how it will going to benefit. And that's essential. Then at the end of the day, he will put his contact and all that stuff. Like for further inquiries or for any questions, please feel free to contact me. He will stamp and sign. There has to be like original signature and stamp to show that this is not just being made up. And of course, maybe sometimes, which is always good, using an official letterhead to make it look more realistic. So that it's not just like any regular person writing or drafting a letter. So these features should be highlighted in any recommendation letter that will sell. Okay, so that's important.
Okay, good, great. Thank you so much. Then now I'm going to ask you a question about the third prong of the quality letter, which is on the balance to benefit the US to waive the job offer and the labor certificate. So specifically, I'll focus on the benefits. I remember that when we worked together on your petition cover letter, after I've given you like the first draft, you added another benefit to it, which is the fact that, your expertise and purpose endeavor will benefit the United States military. So can you just give us like 2 examples of the benefit that you stated in your letter, the benefit that you tend to bring to the US as expressed in your petition cover letter? If you can be briefer about it, that'd be awesome.
So I have different aspects that I highlighted. One of them is the benefits, because for me, being a mechanical engineer, okay, so how the skill is going to benefit the US government, because that's what you're trying to talk about. So one of the things I highlighted was in the first place, in terms of computer science, smart system development or smart technologies and all that. So based on my background as a computer person, as a computer science based guy, so I was able to bring that out. Another area that I also highlighted was, in terms of the renewable energy systems, because I have an experience in that. I developed a system that is focused on a renewable energy power plant, a solar power plant precisely. So I was able to bring out how that skill is going to help the US economy achieve their mission. I think there is this emission, carbon emission of Vision 2050 or something like that. So I was able to make that connection based on that skill set. Another area that I highlighted is the benefit of my skill in automation and machines, like in the industries. Okay, so how we can develop better mechanical machine systems that would do or perform more work. So besides that, I also talked about the area of aerospace industry because mechanical engineering and aerospace engineering, they are the same, okay, essentially. So I was able to highlight the essence or the benefit of my skill set in the aerospace industry in terms of safety, in terms of a system that will be designed to guarantee, of course, safety and some other stuff like that. Another area was the military, because the US government is investing a lot of stuff in the military, and they want to be able to develop in fact, there's a lot of ongoing research in the military or in military and defense system. So I was able to highlight how my skills as a mechanical engineer will help the US government develop better technologies in terms of maybe aircraft and missile defense systems and stuff like that, stealth weapon systems, and all that stuff. I was also able to highlight the benefits of my skill set in healthcare because one of the research that I did was in robotic systems, like flexible robots. These days, there's a rapid increase in or a demand in terms of surgical robots or robots that can perform surgery with minimal invasion. You may have heard about, those of you that are mechanical engineer may have heard about minimally invasive surgery or surgical operations. So I was able to highlight that and how robotic system design can come in to improve and make the healthcare system better. So these are some of the, even in terms of automobile industry, electric vehicles, in fact, there are so many areas. I also talked about automobile industries like electric vehicle and all that benefit and how to move the economy and all that based on what the US government wants in order to keep improving the economy. So these are the things that I highlighted and talked about.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much for that detailed explanation on the benefit that you wrote about in your purpose endeavor. So I have two more questions for you, and they're very short questions. The first one is, when did you turn in your petition for EB2-NIW, and how long did it take for you to get a reply from USCIS, and what was the response that you got from USCIS? Was it an approved petition or was it a request for evidence? Very short answer.
Okay. So I turned in my petition in July of 2022. And then I got the response in October of same year, 2022, like 3 months later. And it was approved unconditionally. There was no RFE. There was no RFE in my own case, because I guess that was because I was able to put all the details, because RFE stands for request for further evidence. So any case or whatever you're claiming in your petition, you have to be able to present a tangible evidence that supports that. So I turned it in and then I got it like 3 months later, and it was just approved. Although these things could change depending on the immigration calendar, it might be shorter, it might be longer, as the case may be.
Wow, that's awesome. You're actually a superstar, because your petition was approved without any problem or RFE. Okay, so the final question that I have for you before we end this interview is, what role did my green card story play in helping you with your EB2-NIW?
It was very useful because, first of all, it motivates me to know that there is hope that I can do this, Because one of the things that, one of the problems or issues or challenges, if you like, that most of us have is that you might look at it and feel like, am I really qualified enough? Am I sure? Like you doubt yourself, like, you don't even know if you are there yet. And sometimes that might make you to delay the process, and you say, okay, no, I don't want to file now. Let me give myself like some more times. But hearing what people did, hearing the stories and hearing the, it can motivate you to know that, yes, there is hope, that at this time, I believe that I have what it takes to do this. So it motivates. It also helps me to know that I have, I can get assistance, someone that could help me to put it together, because the NIW process itself can be daunting. It can be intimidating, and because again, you don't want to get into the trap of the USCIS, whereby you submit an application, now they reject it and send it, or maybe something happens, they send it back to you, and you feel like, oh man, my money is gone. I don't even know what to do again. You lose hope and all that. So it motivates hearing these stories to know that, yes, I can do this, that, yes, at this time, I believe I can. And another thing is that, it gives you the ability to know that, yes, this can be done. This is possible. Right? So that motivation and knowing that you have people or someone that can guide you through the process, whenever you have questions, you can ask them, is a good thing, which was what I found out from listening to my Greencard stories.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Emeka, for your time, for explaining. I think this interview is unique because we're able to shed some light on the structure of a petition cover letter, and also the structure and the content of a recommendation letter for EB2-NIW. Please, if you are watching this interview, please subscribe to our channel, click the like button, and also drop a comment for us. And you can schedule a consultation with us through our website, www.mygreencardstory.com. On this note, I close today's interview. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Bobola, for having me, and I highly recommend his service for anyone that will be interested.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Cool.